Romans 11:26 says all of Israel will be saved. What does that verse mean?
Well, all Israel will be saved. That's in the future. There will be the salvation of the nation Israel. Paul basically in Romans 11 is saying that the gifts and callings of God are not repented of. God doesn't change his mind. And in the Old Testament, he promised salvation to Israel. In the New Covenant, Jeremiah 31, Ezekiel 36. So God made a promise in the future to fulfill the Davidic covenant, fulfill the Abrahamic promise with the nation Israel. Even after they killed the Messiah, you remember in the early part of the book of Acts, Peter gets up and identifies what they had just done, but says, you are still the people of God. God has a plan for the future salvation of Israel because his gifts and callings are not subject to repentance. That doesn't mean that all Jews through all of human history will be saved. It means that there will be a time in the future when the nation Israel believes and is saved. And that is described in detail in the book of Zechariah. When they look on the one they've pierced, mourn for him as an only son, and a fountain of forgiveness and blessing is open to Israel. And then it follows into the kingdom. Isaiah 53 will be the confession of the nation Israel when they are saved. Because what he's prophesying is the future salvation of Israel when they look back and say, he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities, and by his chastening we have shalom with God. So that whole 53rd chapter is a confession of Israel, which they will come to by the Spirit of God when they look on the one they've pierced, mourn for him as an only son, and understand what his life and death meant for them. The prophets also say that 2/3 of the Jews will be purged out, but there will be a future salvation of living Jews who make up the nation Israel. And I think it's described in beginning detail in the book of Revelation when you have a revival in the city of Jerusalem.
Suggesting that the church isn't Israel?
Romans 11 does not allow that. That's the very verse you're talking about. The promises God made to Israel, he will fulfill to Israel. So to make the church the recipient of promises given to Israel splits the Old Testament. The future kingdom of Israel will bring about the salvation of the nation Israel. And that's what Jeremiah is talking about when he says, I'm going to give you a new heart and a new spirit and write my law in your hearts. And that's talking to Israel.